Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth topic uh, for our social marketing subject. So, for today, here are our topics. We want to develop the marketing strategy through the marketing mix. The marketing mix, if you remember, is the product, price, place, and promotion. So, we want to identify the product, identify the price, develop the place strategy, and decide on the promotion. As a recap, we talk about the marketing mix being the study, the selection of, and the manipulation of the four P's of marketing: the product, price, place, and promotion to achieve behavioral change. And how you mix those four P's is what matters most. But for social marketing, the four P's of uh, the marketing mix is incorporated to make a new marketing mix that includes purse strings or budget, partnerships or people to help you with your endeavor or your social marketing campaign, the policies or the things, the legislations, the laws, the regulations that you have in place to make your social marketing campaign a success, and the public, the people who will be affected by, who are the target of your campaign, and the general welfare, the general public, so to speak. So we move forward into the four P's of marketing in connection with our social marketing campaign. So the first one is the product. So we must create the product platform. You must know that in social marketing, of before we have even created our product, we must have identified our target audience. We must identify what we want them to do, our objective, and what kind of behavioral change that they're doing. So this is the core topic that I presented about creating value. What do we want them to do? What kind of values do they want them to have for our marketing campaign to be successful? So when you want to decide, or it now is the time to decide on how you will influence your target audience to accept the desired behavior. So we will focus first on the product strategy and emphasizing on exploring opportunities for goods and services that will support the desired behaviors. So for instance, the first P of the marketing campaign is product. But for social marketing, product elements include first the benefit that the target audience want in exchange for performing the behavior, be any goods and services that you will be promoting to your target audience, and see any additional products or elements that you will be including to assist your target audience in performing this particular behavior. So, in a more concrete platform, we define the product into three types, so three levels. The first is a core product. The question that you will be asking is, what is the benefit of this campaign to your target audience? Wants and what do you expect them to do in exchange for performing a specific behavior? Your next type of product will be the actual product. Is there any good or service that you will be influencing your target market to buy? And then there's an augmented product where there may be additional product elements that you may develop, distribute, sell, or just promote. So in a way, you see this as a one big whole. At the core is the behavior, then products that will help those behavior, and other augmented products that will reinforce the behavior that you want them to change. For example, our existing product could be, for example, immunizations, and then your possible services would be school to school inoculation, something like that. So when you talk about products, you can hear this following terms like product type, product line, product mix, product features, product platform, product quality, and product development. So when you hear about product type, it means that this refers to the whether the product is a physical good, a service, an experience, an event. Is it a person, a place, a property, an organization, information, or an idea? A product line refers to a group of closely related products offered by an organization with similar functions. Product mix refers to the product items that an organization offers. So features could be describing the product components. A product platform would include what are the benefits of the product, what are the goods and services that come in with the benefit of a certain behavior, and the additional product elements. So that's a product platform. So that is where we operate. Product quality would refer to the performance of the product, and it could include valuable attributes such as durability, reliability, precision, and ease of operation. While product development is a systemic approach that guides the development and launch of a new product and is managed by a product manager or sometimes a brand manager. So, going back to the core product, actual product, and augmented product, an example of a core product would be, for example, smoking. So, your core product for smoking for teenagers or making teenagers stop smoking would be, by not smoking, you don't risk addiction for nicotine or whatever. The actual product that you can make or you can provide, for example, would be fruits and vegetables, test for HIV, test for nicotine, etc. Your augmented product could be um, health programs, health plans to make them avoid smoking, like marathon, walkathon, Zumba, whatever you think would help them. So when you talk about products, you will also hear about a lot of times about the word branding. So when you talk about branding, when you hear the word brand, we use this in social marketing as well. We encourage the use of branding because it helps create visibility and ensure memorability. So here I'm going to show you here a list, three particularly famous branding in the United States. For example, Smokey the Bear, to prevent wildlife prevention. So that's the brand. Smokey is a mascot as well as a brand. So everyone knows who Smokey is, the name on the hat, a forest ranger hat, and they know what Smokey Bear is all about, preventing wildfires in US forests. The second example is Uncle Sam's army recruitment poster in the First World War, the Second World War. So Uncle Sam, United States, is recruiting an army to fight its defenses. And another popular brand is Scoop the Poop for pet waste, for people who have pets, walks these pets. So they encourage people who walk their pets to scoop the poop of their pets so as not to create other unhealthy effects by having this dog waste lying around in the street. So these are different kinds of brand that you can use as well when you create your social marketing campaign. Remember that brand, the term brand, it means it is a name, a term, a sign, a symbol or design, or any combination of these that identifies the maker or seller of a product or service. So, your brand identity is how you want your consumers to think, to feel, and act with respect to your brand. Your brand image is how your target audience usually does think and feel and act with respect to your brand. And branding is the process of developing an intended brand identity. So, branding is a whole new topic altogether, but the importance of branding for social marketing is big, it's huge. So, if you want to have a very successful social marketing campaign, make sure that you create a definite, memorable, unique brand. Okay, so now let's move forward to the next P, which is price. So when we want to determine the price, we want to identify what price means first. Price for social marketing is unique because it uses market monetary incentive as well as non-monetary ones. Non-monetary price can be recognition, appreciation, or reward. So when you talk about price, and uh, when you talk about cost, usually what you think about is cost or money that you exchange for a product or a service. So, non monetary costs in the instance of social marketing are more intangible, but they are just as real to your audience and are often more significant for social marketing products. So, again, when you talk about non monetary costs, they are intangible costs, and these may be in the form of time, effort, and energy that is required to perform the behavior, or it could be a psychological risk or a physical, emotional, psychological loss that your target audience may perceive or experience. Or it could even be a physical discomfort that they can relate to doing the behavior that you want them to do. So, an example of monetary cost is nicotine patches, the cost of blood pressure monitoring equipment, the cost of breath analyzer, the cost of earthquake preparedness kits, the cost of smoke alarm batteries, the cost of recycled paper, the cost of LED bulbs, or the cost of natural fertilizers. For example, for monetary in terms of services is fees for family planning classes, fees for smoke cessation classes, athletic club fees, suicide prevention workshops, taxi rides home from a bar to prevent drunken driving. Non monetary effort when it comes to time and effort is to lead a healthy lifestyle. You must cook your own balanced meal. Stopping your car to accept a phone call, driving to the car wash instead of washing your car at home, or taking your food waste to a composter. That's an effort and time cost for yourself. Psychological cost could be um, you trying to find out if the lump that you feel in your body is cancerous. Having a cup of coffee without a cigarette, listening to other people talk when you're doing a carpool, or telling your husband that he drinks too much, or telling your wife that she smokes too much. Using sunscreen uh, while at the beach instead of going back from your trip the same color that you came back in. For some people, tanning is a status symbol. And physical discomfort cost could be exercising, pricking your finger to check your blood sugar, having a mammogram, lowering the temperature in your thermostat or your air conditioning, and taking shorter shower breaks if you want to conserve water. So these are the different kinds of costs, monetary or non-monetary. So when we want to determine the price, our objective is to develop and provide incentive that will increase the benefits and decrease the cost. So here are six different price tactics that we can use. The first one is increased monetary benefits for the desired behavior. So when you talk about monetary benefits, it can take many forms that are familiar to you because you're already a consumer, which is in these following terms: rebates, allowances, cash incentives, and price adjustments that you get as a reward for adopting a proposed behavior like buying commodities. So, in this instance, in the same thought, reward you can create a reward system for people for doing the the behavior that you want them to do. For example, if you want to increase the number of people who recycles, then you can have like a reward system for people who recycles a lot or send materials to the MRF or the Materials Recovery Center, or they could have a cash value, surrender value for every recyclable materials that they give. So that's an example for increased monetary benefits for desired behavior. For number two, increase the non-monetary benefits for the desired behavior. So this time you don't offer cash or free goods or services. Instead, provide a different value. For example, offer a pledge or recognition or appreciation or an acknowledgement that they are doing their desired behavior. It can be as simple as an email from the government saying thank you, or a text saying thank you for reduce, reuse, and recycling your trash. Or it could be um, a badge or a small plaque that you can give them for doing good deeds or accept or doing the accepted behavior. Rewarding in a non-monetary way would entail more creativity on your part. The next price tactic is decreasing the monetary cost for a desired behavior. So if you want to decrease monetary cost, it's also familiar to you as a consumer because you also receive discount coupons or cash discounts or quantity discounts or maybe seasonal discounts or promotional pricing. Example, price reduction, Zark's burgers, anniversary sale, 8 pesos per burger, stuff like that. Or you could do a segment pricing like price based on geographical locations. For those who are in the upland, you get 50% off, etc. So this can be used as well in social marketing for you to increase the behavior, the desired behavior that you want. So, for example, you can use this for like if you want people to wear helmets while they're biking or riding a motorbike, you could give them uh, helmet coupons for discount prices in a certain part with a certain partner that you have that sells helmets, etc. So these can be done. Number four is decreasing non-monetary benefits, non-monetary costs for the desired behavior. So these tactics are available for decreasing their time, their effort, physical or psychological cost. So, for example, people might be encouraged to floss their teeth while they're watching television, or encourage them to anchor a new behavior on an established habit. For example, make them if you notice this now in malls and in hospitals, that if you're just there's a message or a poster in the elevator that if you're just going up or down one flight of stairs, one flight of floors, use the stairs instead of the elevator. So this when you want to decrease non-monetary costs for desired behavior, you want to also deliver psychological rewards. So something that is also non-monetary in nature. The number five tactic is increase monetary cost for the competing behavior. For example, as a local government unit or um, as the government regulator, you can increase the tax, impose fines, decrease the funding, for example, or ask more. If you want, for example, if your social marketing campaign is about health, you could increase the time spent of children doing physical activities for PE, etc. So you can use your power as a legislator, as a part of the local government, to create uh, competition for the desired for your desired behavior to be more desirable to your target market. For increasing non-monetary costs for competing behavior, you may want to create or emphasize the negative public recognition. So you would do like shame gaming or a guilt walk, a hall of shame, etc. So these are the different price tactics that you can create. But be very careful because pricing also have ethical considerations such as issues of social equity, potential exploitation, public shame, or full disclosure. So you may want to make sure that you protect your target market without bringing them too much psychological costs or making them pay such a steep psychological cost. All right. The third P, or the third part of the marketing mix, is the place. So how do we develop the place where our target audience will perform the desired behavior, where they can acquire any related goods and receive any associated services? So, for social marketing, we must be aware that our target audience will consider the convenience of our offer relative to other exchanges in their lives, so your competitors, so to speak. When you talk about place, you are talking about uh, a physical area, not the communication channel where your messages will appear. So, there are 10 possible place strategies that you can do. The first one is, so the first one could be, make the location closer. These are like the ideas for the mobile clinics, mobile x-rays, etc. So make the services or the product more visible to your target audience. So examples of these that will save the time of your target audience and the travel time will be exercise facilities in work areas, flu shots available at the grocery store, breastfeeding consultation that you can provide during home visit, print cartridges recycled at office supply stores, kiosks at strategic locations that offer government services, stuff like that. The second play strategy is extend the hours. So you can just use, for example, malls, emails, SMSs. So think outside the box. Think outside the confined 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. office work day that you you operate in the local government. So you can extend these hours. Okay. Then the third one is be there at the point of decision making. So making sure that you are on the forefront when your target audience is deciding on what to do or not to do is also a place strategy. For example, just in time decision making happens uh, at home. For example, if you want your kids to eat healthy, instead of having junk food, have available fruits at eye level or near the refrigerator so that they'll choose that instead of junk food. So negotiate areas in your community that people will see the things that they need to see. For example, if you want them to segregate waste, you must have proper receptacle areas in strategic places, right? And the next place tactic is make the location more appealing. For example, in if you want to people to engage more in a healthy lifestyle or encourage biking in your community, then create bicycle path, create bicycle lanes uh, for your bikers to have a more appealing area. For example, if you want to encourage more joggers or more people to engage in basketball, so then provide them with those facilities. The fifth place is overcome psychological barriers associated with place. So an example could be um, needle exchange services provided by health clinic to make sure that exposed needles or used needles are disposed of properly, or adopting dogs from the pound, etc. So you can have a place where you showcase pets that are have been left or abandoned or gotten by the city pound, if you have a city pound, for example. The number six play strategy is make your service, your product, more accessible than the competition. So if you, for example, uh, have a cafeteria, if this is an example, of course, in the United States, that instead of just showing having a lot of food served on the cafeteria, the cafeteria people would ask, do you want a salad? So you offer them health stuff. uh, make your product more attractive than the competition. So make the presentation more appealing in for example, in the grocery store or in the health checkout counter. Instead of candies, give showcase fruits or vegetables, etc. And the number seven tactic is make access to the competition more difficult or more unpleasant. An example would be, you well for if you want to reduce consumption of liquor, what we did in the Philippines is issue a syntax law for tobaccos and liquor, etc. So that is one way of making sure that your competitors have limited access to their target audience. Number eight place tactic is be where your target audience shops. So, for example, right now, most of the clinics that I see, or quick checkups are, or clinics are in, also in the malls where people are. So, dental clinics, medical clinics, aesthetic clinics, etc. So, be there as well. If you want them to engage in voting, if you want them to if you want to create awareness, go where the people are, or go where the people shop. It's something like that. Number nine tactic is be where your target audience hang out. So if you, for example, if you want to have an HIV test campaign in your municipality or locality, don't expect the gay people or the members of the community to come to you. Go to them, because it's psychologically, the cost of going to have a test for HIV is high. So go to them, go to the place where they're more comfortable, where you can be assured that you can get the necessary data that you need, and you can get the necessary behavior that you want. And finally, work with existing distribution channels. For example, so if you want to provide birth control options, then make sure you have a partner, like for example here in the Philippines, Mercury Drug, Generica, South Star, Watson's, etc. So when you talk about distribution channels, remember that um, these are available, or your products or your services for your social marketing campaign can be accessed by different distribution channels. So, for us in marketing, when you talk about distribution channels, is how your product goes, uh, comes from you and received by your target audience. So, you are the producer, and your target audience is the consumer. So, Kotler and Roberto describe four different channels of distribution levels that we can consider. There is a zero level channel, which means that there's direct distribution from the social marketer, us, to the target audience. So we provide them either snail mail, over the internet, door to door, or through outlets that you manage, health department, the dep ed, etc. In a one level channel, there is one distribution intermediary, or what we usually call a retailer. For example, grocery stores where healthcare officials set up tables for flu shots. In a two-level channel, you are dealing with a local distributor and then a retailer before you reach your target audience or your adopter. Example, if you want to give, if for example, if our local government is near the river or the sea, we want to deal with distributors who provide life vests, for to include safety tips or how to use the life vest that they can attach to their product. Now, in a three level channel, there is a national distributor that finds local wholesalers, that sells to retailers, that sells to your adopter. So the purpose of the different distribution channels is to satisfy your end user, your target audience. It's critical that all these channel members have the different focus and the different attention, and you select them on the characteristic that is unique to your target audience. So you can either choose zero level, one, two, or three that would make your marketing campaign more successful, that would fit your local government. It doesn't mean that you need to choose one or two. Just choose one that will be beneficial for your campaign. So remember that marketing channels play a strategic role in the overall presence of a company's success in the marketplace. They are also more than just a way of delivering the product to your consumer. They can also add value to your core product. For example, employees may be willing to pay a slightly higher price for the convenience of a bottled water at a vending machine at the work site rather than in a retail station outside their work. Okay, so remember that you have 10 possible strategies, and remember too that marketing channel distribution channels or place of promotion is not the same as a communication channel. All right. And finally, we come to deciding on the promotion. Okay, promotions are persuasive communications designed and delivered to inspire your target audience to action. They can be in the form of messages, the messenger, the creative strategy, and finally, the communication channel. So, what are our tactics for these? Okay. For the message strategy, focus on the content of your communication. What do you want your target audience to know, to do? What do you want them to know? And what do you want them to believe? Now, the messenger strategy can take on these different things. Your options could be a sole sponsor, a partner, a spokesperson, an endorser, mainstream audiences, or a mascot. Sole sponsor, the government is usually a sole sponsor. Partners could be NGOs, it could be uh, the school, it could be parents, I mean, school, or it could be uh, advocacy group. A spokesperson could be either the mayor, the project manager. Endorsement could be in the form of celebrities. Midstream audiences could be a political leader, a community leader, parents, teachers, etc. And mascot, of course, mascot like Yossi Kadiri mascot, right? So the next one is creative strategy. So here are 9 strategies to help you translate your message into specific communications. Number one is keep it simple and clear. You don't want to clutter up your message by having a lot of things to say. Make it as simple as easy to remember as possible. Number two, don't focus on the negative things. Focus on the benefits that the audience will get. And number three, if you want to instill fear, make sure that you follow up with solutions and use credible sources. Like, for example, in the TV ad, you see there a medical doctor talking about the ill benefits of alcohol or smoking, or a dentist talking about problems with teeth, right? Number four, try for messages that are vivid, concrete, and personal. Something unique, something that is easily remembered. Number five, make the message easy to remember. Like example, Yossi Kadiri, or sa gulay may buhay, something like that. Um, Health is wealth, or busog lusog, things like that. Number six, have a little fun. Have fun making your creative campaign. Have fun thinking about new, funny ways to reach your target audience. Number seven is try for a big idea. Like for example, it could be a simple picture, but you can make an idea big, right? Uh, what else is a big idea? For example, a graphic print, a very viral picture. You can use that. Number eight is, instead of nagging or telling your target audience what to do, try asking them a question like, are you going to drink 8 glasses of water today? Or are you going to vote tomorrow? Or stuff like that, making them think for themselves and answer for themselves. Next and finally, still tell stories about real people. This is where your testimonies or people that talk about the benefits of doing a desirable behavior comes in. People that they can relate to, that they know are real, that can persuade them to change the behavior that you don't want them to do into something, into the behavior that you want them to do. So that's it for today. So these are all from the book Social Marketing: Changing Behaviors for Good by Nancy Lee and Philip Kotler from Sage Publications. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Be safe.